Hey guys, how are we? Well, absolutely stunning day here in Athens, and a lot better than what it has been, which is good. There's only so much winter you can take. But yeah, in regards to minimalistic travel, as I said, the least you take, the better. And one of the problems you're going to come up against is keeping your clothes cycled, and basically how you're going to manage having so few clothes compared to what you would normally have at home. And there's a few easy ways to do that. There's a few options. There are sort of little travel washing machines that you can take that are quite light. Don't ask me of specifics, because I couldn't recommend one because I don't use one of those. But the other option is just washing your clothes in the sink, bathroom sink of an evening, and rinsing them off. And the other option is using laundromats. Everywhere around the world has laundromats. I'm not a huge fan of that, purely because I hate the idea of washing my clothes in something that 1,000 other people have washed their clothes in. So yeah, call me a bit of a prude, but anyway, that's not my cup of tea. But that's certainly an option, and a lot easier to do in some aspects, because you can pretty much wash and dry your clothes pretty much straight away. The other option is to get your clothes laundered. A lot of hotels will offer that option. The price of that basically will come down to per item, and different places around the world will offer different prices for that. Word of warning though, and I say this from experience. I was doing some consultancy work in a place called Vanuatu, which is a little Pacific island to the east of Australia. This is about 10 years ago, and I stayed at a hotel and got my stuff laundered, and I think it was pretty cheap, wasn't that expensive. When I got my my clothes back, all my Hugo Boss polo shirts, there's about 4 or 5 of them, a couple of jeans, all my stuff had bleach marks all the way through it, and completely ruined. Maybe easy 1,000, maybe 1,000 plus worth of clothes, completely destroyed. And when I broached this with the hotel, they profusely apologised and offered me a free buffet meal, at which point I laughed and said, "You can stick that where the sun doesn't shine." So I've never been back there again, so I certainly would not recommend getting your clothes laundered when you visit Vanuatu, because you're probably not going to get them back in the same state. So just be mindful of that. Just getting really good stuff that lasts. Now, the good thing about minimalism is that you don't have to buy a lot of stuff, so it means you can buy really good quality things. So say you buy 5 t-shirts, then buy 5 really good t-shirts that are really good quality, not junk that you can buy from a spendthrift store. And it's going to look a lot better and last a lot longer. So certainly do that, because even socks and jocks and that sort of stuff, there are underpants and socks that you can get that are for travel, that will dry a lot faster and are a lot hardier to use, and they're well worth the money. Yes, I strongly recommend that. Getting good quality clothes they look good, they feel great, they last a long time, and they put up with a lot more stress than what normal cheap sort of clothes will put up with. So the other thing that I would sort of suggest, and this sort of goes into you know, areas of security and staying safe when you're in a foreign place. There are things you need to be aware of when you're traveling, and it's not clear and evident to everyone. For example, when we visited, where was it, Italy or Spain? I think it was Italy. Yeah, one of the Italian cities anyway. They had a massive parkland with a lot of tourists and that sort of stuff. And what they would have were African migrants. They were selling cheap knockoff Gucci or whatever it was. And but beside that, they were actually trying to pickpocket and steal from tourists. Now, if you sit back in a situation and watch, you'll see how the system works. And I sort of grabbed my wife and said, "Come and sit next to me on this park bench, and we're just going to watch." And I said, "You keep an eye on this." And what they had was 3 or 4 guys that would stand watch, and they were watching for police. Then they had 4 or 5 guys that were the operatives. They were out there trying to sell stuff or steal from tourists. Then they would have these women that would travel around, and they were pushing prams. But the prams weren't with children. The prams were full of merchandise. And what these African guys were doing, they'd steal from tourists, and after they steal from the tourists, then they hand the merchandise off to these women, and then these women sort of drop off the merchandise to someone else. You could actually see the operation in effect if you just sat back and watched. And that's the sort of thing that you have to be very mindful of when you're in a touristic area or you're traveling. The last thing you want to do is look like a tourist. And the easiest way to do that is to dress in darker colors or neutral colors. The brighter the t-shirts and jumpers and sneakers and all the other paraphernalia that tourists wear, gives it away. You become a target instantly. So one of the things that you'll want to do, and I know this sounds a little bit over the top, but you'll want to learn a skill called the grey man. And grey man basically dresses in as many neutral colours as possible, no insignia, nothing to sort of make you stand out from the crowd. You want to blend in as best as possible. So no nose rings and bright or loud t-shirts with massive logos or bright luggage and all the other stuff that people do. As soon as you stand out, you are going to become a target. So it's all part of your safety. So if you can buy really good clothes like t-shirts and jeans, you can get jeans tailored, made out of really good quality denim. They fit beautifully and they last a long lifetime. You know, you can actually have a really nice kit, travel around, and when you have really nice clothes, it's very versatile. So I strongly advise that. Think through what it is that you're taking with you on your minimalist travels, rather than have a whole multitude of crappy stuff that just makes you stand out and brings you into being a target. Get really neutral, nice tailored stuff, and blend into the crowd. That's what you want. You don't want to stand out as a tourist. So anyway, beautiful. People out having a bit of a time here. So just up near the Parthenon again. I mean, it's really close to where we live, so I walk past here quite a bit. So yeah, so you just keep that in mind. If you can get really nice quality stuff, then go and do it. Even shoes, like you can get nice Goodyear welt shoes, and those things are going to mold to your feet. They're going to last a long time, and when the soles wear out, you can get them resoled. They wear into being extremely comfortable and supportive of your foot. Great to walk in, and you're not going to get blisters, and you don't need ridiculous hiking shoes and all the other paraphernalia that they tell you that you need. I remember getting premium hiking shoes a couple of years back for a trek, and these things were meant to be the latest, the greatest, you know, these waterproof inners and all this other crap. I literally got them wet within the first 2 minutes of starting the hike, and they remained wet for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So don't waste your money, don't waste your time. So good quality shoes, well worth the money, and you can get them, you can either get them tailored, mind you that's going to cost you about $1,000, but or you can just get some really good quality Goodyear Welch shoes. So yeah, so good shoes, good socks, and I strongly recommend merino clothing. Merino will not stink. It lasts a bit longer and dries quickly, and you can get quite thin merino wool, like very fine merino wool, which is actually quite nice to wear. Otherwise, if you get the coarser merino wool shirts, they can get a bit itchy and a bit hot. So, but apart from that, cotton's fine too. So yeah. Anyway, so just keep really neutral stuff, good stuff, and I recommend just washing it yourself of an evening, or every second evening, whatever suits, what's going to be comfortable for you. The last thing you want to do is have wet clothes that you're carrying around, because they stink of mildew, and it's not good. So there's some of the options that you have if you're going to go down that path. And as I said, your clothes will actually be part of your security or safety plan. If you stand out too much, you're going to be a target. I'll also do another video on how to stay safe when you're traveling, rather than be an absolute target. You want to be fairly careful, and so anyway, you're out of your comfort zone and you're in a foreign place. You're not quite sure of the situation, so just be mindful of that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave that there, and I will do another video in the next couple of days, and we'll go from there. So I'll give you a few more tips on travel and being an overseas exile, or a successful overseas exile anyway. So it's quite a great lifestyle and very achievable. All right, guys, I will chat with you later.